One. Hello, everybody. How you doing today? It is a new day. It's a fresh day. I hope you're up, shaking, and baking. I always say that all the guests in on the Paul Fo podcast are fascinating people, and today I have two incredible gentlemen. They're co-founders of Everyday AI. I've got Ua and God's Will. So I'd like for you guys to do the honors by, telling the world, what do you guys do? We hear AI every day. A lot of people are scared of it. I always tell my sons every single day that if you spend 15 minutes on any of the LLMs every day, your IQ will increase by over 20%. And I have experienced that. I'm experiencing that myself. God's will, I spoke to the head of a big company in Lagos, Nigeria. We're talking billions and billions. The guy said to me, Paul, I don't even know where to start from. That is the question on a lot of people's hearts. What is this thing called AI? Where can people start from? Yeah.
Okay, so Paul, thank you so much for setting this up. Really appreciate being on this show. It's a wonderful show, and I like your style of introducing your guests and laying the foundation. So I'm Ua. I've been in the machine learning and artificial intelligence space for quite a few years, even before things became really, really popular. Now, ChatGPT did a huge, wonderful service to the space. ChatGPT is essentially the culmination of many years of research. So people have been trying to do machine learning since the 50s, right? So it's not something new, but bringing it to the paradigm where people start using it daily, that's what's made it really popular. And people have started to understand how artificial intelligence can improve their daily lives. Now, when people ask the question about where do we start, you've already started. If you use Google Maps, there's already artificial intelligence there. If you're on Netflix and you've watched the South Korean film, and then next time you go on there are 5 other South Korean films, that's artificial intelligence. So that's somebody in the traditional world, somebody would have sat there arranging the tapes and arranging the videos to make sure you see the things that you're interested in. But what's actually happening is software is doing that arrangement and doing that organization of your experience. So that's where the intelligence is. Because if a human being was doing it, you say that human being is intelligent. Now a computer's doing it. Because it's a computer, it's artificial, but it's still intelligence that's working. Okay, so you're already using artificial intelligence. Now, what we are trying to do is get people to recognize that artificial intelligence is everywhere, but now be more certain about using it, be deliberate about using artificial intelligence. So traditionally, when you ask people a question, if they're your friend, they will say, Google it. Now, you should be saying AI it. Go into ChatGPT and ask those questions. And let AI do all of the background work and the background understanding that is required in order to understand new concepts. So to talk about your someone's IQ improving, if you use and engage AI regularly, it's the same as there's a book that says iron sharpened iron, and when you're merging minds with another being that's more intelligent than yourself, you're forced to then step up so that you're working on that same level. It's the same thing with your artificial intelligence. We can't all afford to have a secretary working with us or an expert working next to us, but you can now with ChatGPT, especially with the free version. You have no excuse. Any question you have, anything you think of, any concept, any struggle, just type it into the ChatGPT browser and suddenly you have your answer. So the speed to your answer is so much shorter, and you cannot afford not to take advantage of it now, because it's going to be a brief moment where you have an edge, where you have an opportunity to forge forward ahead of people who are not taking advantage of the opportunity they have. And that's where the opportunities are created. That's where the millions are made. That's where the advances are made. And that's really artificial intelligence at a very basic level. There's nothing to be scared of. There's no spiritual side to it. There's no devil in there that's speaking to people. No. Anything it tells you is based on information that it's been trained on.
To do. Yeah.
right? So it's not suddenly started, channeling the evil one or whatever. It's not that. Honestly, it's not that. If you've had the opportunity to train or fine tune any one of these models, you'd realize that actually there's nothing sinister in what's going on there. It all boils down to how you use the tool. It's a tool. Use
Great.
it.
Great.
I'll stop now and let God's will speak.
So God's will. I want to pick up from where we were left off in terms of first principles thinking.
Okay.
I run a small business. Where should the small business owner start from? I don't know anything about AI. I've heard your podcast. I want to start. Where should they start from?
That's a very interesting question, Paul, because just this week we were teaching our students how to generate business ideas using AI, and we've actually released a guide that can help you step by step fine tune your idea using AI and validate your idea whether there's a market for it, validate if there's demand for your idea, validate how much, what was the price point for your idea. So U and I were really fascinated about what's going on out there because AI is taking over the entire world. We've had to go to Oxford. We paid a lot of money to be trained on AI. So we're both AI certified by University of Oxford. So in answer to your question, if you're starting a business, the first thing you can do, you don't have time anymore to go and be asking people about your business. Go on ChatGPT. It's free, right? Type on ChatGPT, I have this idea. These are my skill sets. This is what I love doing. And this is the business I would like to do. Can you tell me how this business matches with my skill set? And then you begin to have a conversation. The same way we're having a conversation here. You have a conversation with AI, and AI will tell you everything you need to do about that business. Trust me, somebody else has done that business, and that information is on ChatGPT, and they can answer the question that you have.
Very, very, very good. So, for those of you listening to this or watching this on YouTube, if I click on the subscribe button on YouTube, you're watching this. The technical term for what God's will sell is called a prompt.
Yes.
And UA and God's will, thankfully, they are putting up a free webinar on how to use AI. The link is going to be in the show notes. It's free, so jump on it. The technical term for that is a prompt. I think in that webinar, they will show you how to frame the prompt.
Yes.
It's not just talking to AI. There is a way to talk to the machine to get an optimized answer from that machine. Right? So, click on that link on the show notes and jump on the free webinar. So, again, I'll throw the question out to you guys. Any of you can just, sort of like jump on it. So we want people to understand. People say that there's ChatGPT, there's Gemini, there's DeepSeek, there's Grok, there's Cloud by Anthropic. They call those things together LLMs, large language models. Can you explain to the people? Because when people hear AI, they only think ChatGPT. Can you explain to them?
Yeah, so that's a wonderful question, and people would say ChatGPT because ChatGPT first mover advantage stole the market, stole people's fascination with talking to machines. But ChatGPT in and of itself is just a chatbot. It's just an interface to the model, right? Because the actual model is GPT-4o, 4o mini, all the things that they keep releasing with 50 billion parameters and the like. Now, when we talk about large language model,
Please break it down. My favorite prompt. Break it down to them like as if they're 10-year-olds,
okay.
so that they get it. So that when they come to the free class, right, they will even fully understand it. Yeah, good.
Okay. All right. So I'll start from sort of a lower level and then bring it out so that it's a broader picture and people can grasp it. Now, okay, when we talk about artificial intelligence, think of it like artificial knowledge that you're giving to a machine. How would you teach a machine to repeat what it is that you're doing. You'd make that machine watch you and just watch you and try. It will fail. You make it watch you again, it will fail. Then it will watch you again, it will fail. Eventually it gets it right. Then you put a marker to say this is correct. Then the machine in its mind will say, oh, this is the way to get to the result that he wants, right? So when you're doing that for different things, let's say you're trying to teach the computer to wash plates, and then you're trying to teach it to sweep, and then you're trying to teach it to hoover the floor. When you've done that multiple times, the computer eventually gets it. When it gets it, so the route from beginning to end, it now has that in its head. That's its model. That's the model of what's going on.
Got it.
Right? So large language model is essentially a model based on human language, right? So it's been trained on different books, different videos, different transcripts, and it keeps learning. Then it gets asked a question, then it might get the question wrong, then the people programming it will say, no, that's not correct. It will keep trying and trying and trying till it gets it right, right? That's how the model is being built, right? So each time you now go back to that large language model through something like Chat GPT, which is the interface, and you ask it a question, it goes to its model, its picture of what the world looks like, and provides you with an answer from that. Right? So a large language model is just saying that it's being trained with a huge amount of information. Large amount of information. So tons and tons of terabytes of information. And it keeps getting trained and keeps getting trained and keeps getting trained till it gets it right.
Great,
Right?
great.
That's what your large language model is.
Great. Gospel, I think the next question will be for you. So I think the CEO of NVIDIA said that AI will not replace your job, but the person that knows how to use AI will replace your job. Can you expand on that statement? Because someone who has a 9-to-5 job is listening to us. Someone who runs a business is listening to us as well.
So I've had this question come up a number of times. In fact, when I was doing my training with Oxford, there was a discussion class on this particular topic, and there are different schools of thought around it. And then my perspective is exactly what the guy from NVIDIA said. If imagine you're doing some work, right? I'm your manager and I give you a task that should take a week to be done manually, and somebody else comes and does that job in 30 minutes. If I'm interviewing the two of you, who will you hire? The person that does it in 30 minutes and does it perfectly well, because I'm not, in terms of quality, the same quality, right? It's not that the person is cutting corners, right? The person that did it in 30 minutes and the person that tells you is going to take a week to be done, who are you going to hire?
The 30 minutes guy, of course, because it saves me more
Of
money.
course,
More
it
efficient.
saves you more money, exactly. So that's what AI does for you, right? With AI, there are so many things that you will save hours of time. AI can read a book in 5 seconds. A book that takes you weeks to read, AI can read that in 5 seconds and summarize, give you the summary of that book. AI can sit in a meeting like this that we're having and be taking notes while we're just chatting and having a good time. AI is taking notes, is identifying who said what, who said that, and it's taking note. At the end of the meeting, AI will tell you, God who said this, who has said this, Paul said this. This is the summary of the meeting, and these are your actions. These are the things you agreed, and these are your actions. So there's so much AI can do for you. So the person that has learned to use these tools versus the person that is still, you're talking, okay, please hold on, let me write some things down, right? That's you get what I mean? So the person that is just having a conversation with you and at the end of the day saying to you almost 5 minutes after your meeting, the person already said these are the things that we talked about. Who are you going to hire? Is it not the person that does it better, has a good relationship with you, had a good rapport with you without focusing on writing, versus the person that is doing things manually? That's exactly what AI does for you.
And can I just add to that, Paul, as
Sure.
well? There's when we started our careers, there was always these job adverts will come out and say 5 years experience, 10 years experience. What is experience? Experience is exposure to a certain way of doing things and certain technology.
My God.
a guy just coming out of uni essentially has the same level of experience as you do. The difference is he's coming out of uni, he knows that he has a bit of a disadvantage. But the way to plug that disadvantage is his willingness to use AI. So whilst you're using your experience and you only have one dimension for your experience, he's using a tool that's been trained in many dimensions, right? You and I will probably pick up a book, study some IT equipment, some IT solution, right? AI has studied all the books that have been written about everything to do with that thing. And this guy comes out of uni, he prepares a report, you go back and you're trying to use your experience. And people should stop thinking that companies care about mistakes that humans make or mistakes that AI makes. Because the fact is, humans make mistakes as well. Right? So if you think a company is going to say, this is not 100% humans, AI makes mistakes. Actually, the way they look at it is humans make mistakes 85% of the time. AI makes mistakes 90% of the time. It is still cheaper to have AI in many things, in many fields.
Oh, this is so good. Can you guys tell me of a use case of someone who came into your company, you work with that company, or an individual, on a scale of 1 to 10, their experience of AI was like a 0 or a 1 over 10. And having worked with you, they are now like an 8 over 10 or a 9 over 10, and how they've applied that to their businesses so people have some context.
Yeah, I can go first. There's something called AI audit, right? So an AI audit is what we offer businesses when they approach us. And typically what we do through that audit is we work with the main members of that company, the main employees, to work out what aspects AI can deliver solutions on. So what tends to happen is there are two sets of people that we've found. There's the company owner who's really excited about AI and has gone out and adopted so many different tools, right? As an example, Godswill mentioned the transcription services. Now, one of the clients that we had an audit with recently had 4 different transcription services, right? Fireflies, Fathom, Quill, Otter.
Maybe voice pal.
It was just there, right? Yeah. So what's the problem there? I'm sure you can tell what the problem is.
Yes.
Right. So she's adopted so many different tools that now she's overwhelmed. So she's on one side of the spectrum. Too many AI tools.
She has tool fatigue.
Exactly, tool fatigue, and she doesn't know which one does what, right? So we have those people where they've tried, they're excited, and they're amongst the best because they know what these tools are doing, but now it's confusing. So we go in there, and how do we help them? We tell them, okay, drop these 3 tools and stick to this one. Why? Because this one takes the transcripts and then it's tied to a large language model behind the scenes that then brings out all of the important details from your discussion. So this is a recruitment company. So when they have meetings with candidates or have meetings with clients, they're thinking, okay, after this meeting, is there content that I can take from here to post on LinkedIn? The LLM does that behind the scenes already within minutes of you finishing the meeting. Okay, was this candidate a good match for the CV? It's already done that behind the scenes. And then it uploads that information into your CRM, and then it puts updates and follow-ups and things like that, all triggered automatically. So you don't have to get involved at all.
Great. Is that what you call a workflow, an AI workflow?
That's an AI workflow. That's an AI
Brilliant.
workflow. So
Brilliant.
with that, the if you want to be pedantic, actually, that's more automation. Where AI comes in is when it takes the transcript and pulls out information from it. That's where it needs intelligence. So it's not just a bunch of words. It looks at the transcript from beginning to end, the timings of everything, and then says, okay, from everything I've received, I can tell that this candidate wasn't a good match for the CV because they don't have this.
Got it.
And this is how you can improve.
Got it.
One thing you mentioned on your course the other day was voice power, where AI takes your transcript and says,
I love it.
actually, your sales technique is terrible.
Tell me.
These are the things you should change if you want to sell like
Yes.
Dr. Paul Fo,
Yes,
if you want to
yes.
sell like Anthony Robbins,
Yes, yes.
right? So those things, that's where the intelligence comes in. And the moment you have the workflow in place, you can plug anything you want in. You know, the
Got
world's
it.
your oyster.
Is that what you call an AI agent as well?
So AI agents, it's not quite an agent at that point unless you get it to do something for you.
Okay.
So an agent.
Let's not complicate them. Let's let's just stick to the basics.
Yeah,
So I like that. I like
yeah,
that.
so an agent has to complete a task, and that's when it's really an agent. It's doing something for you.
Why should somebody use everyday AI to do that kind of audit? What significant competitive advantage would that give to a business over their competitors?
So everyday AI itself is a vehicle to help you to get to where you need to be. We're not interested in selling you a product. We're interested in transforming your current business.
I love that.
And we only ever start with an audit. We don't just come in and say, okay, buy
That's
that
a
product,
very
buy that
good
product.
approach. Mm.
Yeah, right? So everything we do is bespoke to the business. And we work based on the goals that the business already has. So if you tell us that your aim is to increase the number of leads you want by 10, we'll say, okay, how do you do it now? Okay, so here are the gaps. Here are the places where we feel automation will help you get to 10x, right? And these are the tools. And we also tell you that, okay, downstream, when you employ people or get people to help you because your business is now doing 10 times the amount of transactions, you don't need to spend so much time training them. Here's another AI tool that watches what you do, and it will create your standard operating procedures on your behalf and then present that to the team, right? If you want to create a video of you explaining it, you don't actually have to speak. We can just take a sample of your voice, get the transcript, your voice is doing it, your picture is there speaking in front of the video, and you don't even have to get involved. No more than 10 minutes, right? So these are the solutions we recommend based on our knowledge of the different tools that exist and the different solutions that we've built for different clients.
I really
from
like you
different
guys, man.
industries.
The fact that you have this Oxford background in it. Gospel, I something happened to me today. I was calling a relative of mine, and in his display picture on his WhatsApp was a kind of artwork that he did. He's into graphics, high-end graphics. I know how much people used to pay him to do that thing.
That's an interesting point.
Do you know, I play with that thing right now with the new version of OpenAI and just do this anime style. People were paying this guy top dollar to do this thing.
Yeah. So
I am
there's
scared about the displacement capacity of this tool. Can you speak to that? One more thing. I put my P&L statements or my bank statement in OpenAI, and I gave it some badass. No, let me not use that. Some serious prompt, right? When the results came out, I called my accountant. I said, "Can I let you go?" Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, so that's an interesting point because there's just too many things. I was discussing with Howard the other day. As somebody that's been in this field for some time, I'm worried. I'm scared of what is coming. Right?
Yeah.
It's scary. We're meant to, Howard and I were meant to provide some headshots of our hours for some of the things that we're doing, and we're traditionally you will go and look for somebody to come and take your picture, and then you go and change and wear different attires, come and take different pictures. Mm-hmm. We just had to find pictures we've taken in the past, right? Uploaded it on AI, and AI gave us headshots, professional headshots in seconds, right? That we can use for different. Some of them I'm wearing suits, some of them I'm wearing casual wears, etc. Right? These are things that have been generated by AI, and nobody will know that this is AI generated. So apart from our names and everything that you've talked about, there are so much things that, and that's why we call ourselves everyday AI. These are things that you need to do every day. Imagine a recruiter tells you, I need a picture of a headshot. You want to do your LinkedIn, you want to do your Instagram, you want to do this. There are tools that can do that to you from your house. You don't have to step out of your room. You don't have to hire anybody, and they send you some version, and you say, "Oh, I don't like this. Let's revise it," and you wait for another way for them to send it back. You can do all that by yourself. And the reason why we're unique is that we don't just give you a tool like Owa said. We walk you through the journey, and we teach you a lot of these tools. So you can actually, we have a training arm, and we have the business arm.
I like
The
that.
training arm actually empowers the everyday people. These are the tools you can use, and people have come through our training sessions, and the testimonials have been mind blowing. They've been phenomenal. We give you tools that will help you at work every day, in your conversations with people, in preparing for interviews, in developing your business ideas. Everything you need, you can get it from best everyday AI.
How should people mitigate against the risk of becoming irrelevant off the back of these tools? Because just as you are feeling it, I feel the vibration of the train coming from the distance on the train track. It is inevitable.
It's
And it's
inevitable.
going to be unpleasant.
To be honest, the reason we started the training arm was because we could see this coming, and we could see that people in our community were
Yeah.
burying their heads in the sand,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And we felt that we're fortunate to be in a position to get the training, to understand what's going on. We've been working in the space for a while, and we want to share that knowledge with our industry, with our community. Now, people would not necessarily be irrelevant, because I suspect that there will be certain areas where, you know, government would intervene and try and block things. But we're now in a global space where if you make the mistake of relying on somebody to save you, you're in trouble. You're in trouble.
How many people can they save?
How many people can they save, right? So how do we prevent ourselves from being irrelevant? I'd say understand how the tool works and understand the limitations. It's not perfect,
Yeah, it
not
is.
by any stretch. It's not
Yeah.
perfect.
Yeah.
But dare I say, if you're not good at your job, you're in trouble.
Mm.
You're in trouble. So that artist guy that you spoke about, yeah, he can draw. What I'll suggest to him is learn how to do the same kind of drawings with one of the image models, right? Because you and I, especially me, I'm a back-end developer. We're notorious for not knowing how to do design, right? I can write a prompt and it will present something, but someone who's artistic can write a prompt. They know how to write a prompt. They know how to position the aspect ratio. They know which camera setting to use. They know what the background should look like, what the cloud should be like, the colors. They will go in depth. You know, if anyone's got time, after listening to this, go to Ideogram. On Ideogram, you'll be amazed at the kind of images that people come up with. The average person would not be able to do that, and I doubt you'd be able to get the large language model to create something for you on your behalf. So I think there's a moat there, but that moat is only there for people who take the time to understand how that technology works and how to tweak it and move it in the way that they want. So then it becomes their own prompt. It becomes something unique about how they get these models to function.
Very
That'll be
good.
my suggestion to people.
Great. I was listening to someone, and I like what the metaphor that the person used about AI. He said, I think it was Jeff Bezos. He said AI is an enabling technology. It's like electricity. You can build anything on top of it. I thought that was a brilliant, metaphor for seeing that. So God's will, and I want to throw the question out to you guys again. For those who are saying, well, I can't afford these tools, or I don't even know where to start, or what is the first and the simplest step for me to start if I run a small business in Africa? Because some people are going to watch this in Africa. What should they do? How can this help me I don't have. I'm thinking about sorting out my basic needs. How can this help me?
So I think the first thing to know that a lot of these things are actually free, right? So it's not a matter of I don't have the money to get them. If you
No,
have
there's a paid
access,
version of it. Yeah.
there are paid versions, right? But for somebody that is just starting, right, start with the free ones, right? All you need is internet and a phone or a web browser on your laptop, right? Go on chatgpt.com, right? Once you open it, create a profile and then start asking it any question that you want, right? There are ways to ask better questions, obviously, like
No,
over
don't
explained.
tell them those ways now. They must come for your webinar. Don't tell them those prompts. Because even
So-
the prompt, they are frameworks.
There are, and that's what is
Don't
called
tell
prompt
them now.
engineering, right? It's one of the
Yeah,
things that
don't
we
tell them
teach.
now.
But the key thing is that as you are, even without going on any training, speaking to anybody else, go on your web browser, download this thing, start asking it any question. Ask it about your city in Africa. Ask it about, it can search the internet and return information back to you. Ask it about jollof rice. Ask it about anything that you know about. And you start seeing how this thing works. Ask it about that business you're thinking about, and you start getting information back. You don't have to wait until the webinar or somebody talks to you. There's opportunities out there, and it is important, and we'll start taking advantage of it.
In fact, really, as it stands right now, anybody who doesn't take advantage of it here is either the person is lazy or the person doesn't even. I give an example of what two things that happened to me. I was telling my children, I said, if I have a sales, since Tuesday this week, I've been having sales training till Friday, 14, 13 hours of sales training. But I've took it to the next level now. So when I've created my slides, I turn it to a PDF. I upload it in Notebook LLM. It becomes a podcast for me. So I'm listening to my presentation even before I make the presentation. So I have a deeper understanding of my stuff.
That is brilliant.
That's amazing.
So you need to just be very, very inquisitive, very extremely curious. Yesterday I told my son I just want to learn about neuroplasticity, how the brain works. And I have a favorite prompt. I'll share it with you guys that I used to break it down for me, and it's insane. Guys, I need you guys to sign up for Everyday AI free class that is coming up. I will show my face in that class. I will be there. It's a free class.
Nice.
Sign up there. It's free. I want to encourage, especially people in our community, use OpenAI for your businesses. It will transform the way that you run a business. So, Godspeed, I don't like my podcast to be beyond 40, 45 minutes. So, Uma, what else do you have to say to entrepreneurs, stay-at-home moms, especially entrepreneurs that want to use this tool now? What do you recommend for them? Don't be shy to plug in what we are doing on Everyday AI. When is the next free class? Let people show up for the class. Yeah.
Okay, so for starters, I think some people what holds them back is the fact that they are scared or they think someone is watching what they're
No,
doing.
put spiritual there. No, Africans are very spiritual.
So
I've seen a video of somebody, a pastor, actually telling the congregation that AI is demonic.
yeah,
And I think I have seen that video, and I'm like, this seriously, guys, it is
Yeah.
not.
Gospel, I've also seen another video, funny enough, opposite side of another pastor telling his congregation that, like who I was saying, he programmed the model with all his speeches, all his past counseling. Now, when people in his church call him for marriage counseling, he just directs them to the model, and the model coaches them on his behalf.
Oh, wow, imagine that.
brilliant.
Imagine that.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
Brilliant.
Go ahead,
It's brilliant. So what I'll say to people is, first thing to do, just go chatgpt.com. That's it. Pull it down. Treat it like Google. Just ask it any question.
Great.
Just get your fingers dirty. If you've gone past that stage and you have a business and you have issues or you don't know what those issues are,
Come to Everyday.
so So for starters, go to ChatGPT, ask the question, just say
Yeah.
I'm having these issues, or my income, my revenue has suddenly dropped, blah blah blah. It will tell you why, in most cases. And then if you get beyond that point, come to Everyday AI.
Yes.
Let's have an audit.
Yes.
Let's have an audit. Let's tell you the things that you
I really
probably
like
need to
Gospel. I
do.
like that audit part that both of you are doing. It's very, very brilliant.
It's
Very good.
it's it's phenomenal.
It's
It is
phenomenal.
phenomenal.
Never heard that.
It's someone referred to us as the doctors, right?
Yes.
That we come in, they tell us what the issues are, and we say, this, and this are the things you need to put in place, right, to get to that 10x. Gone are the days where your first thing should be let's employ 5 more people. No, it's let's get these things to do the things. The people that we currently have can 10x based on the technology we put in place.
Great.
Right? That's what I'll suggest to entrepreneurs. And for those who want to get started, if you sign up for the webinar, you will receive a toolkit that will help you come up with the first 10 business ideas that are suited to your persona. So the person next to you will not get the exact same 10. You will get 10 that are suited to who you are and the things that you enjoy doing, your things that motivate you, the things that you want to accomplish. And that should get you started.
Okay. What about
Just-
God's will?
Yeah, just to add to that, there are so many things that you'll gain from this webinar, right? So, what I just talked about, the business person starting, will teach you how to write text, use AI for text, use AI for videos, use AI for images, use AI to to make songs, right?
Really?
Yes, and it will be. There's no copyright to it. It is your song. AI will sing, will compose a song, all the lyrics, everything. Within 2 minutes, you have a song that is so. Like Paul, if you're starting your podcast, you can have a song that's done by AI at the beginning and at the closure of your podcast, and that is all generated by AI. We'll teach you how to build a website in 5 minutes with AI. We'll teach you how to. Owa mentioned agents earlier. We'll teach you how to create agents. We'll teach you how to develop AI-powered chatbots. And these are things, the possibilities that are out there. I'm not a developer, right? But there was a time I needed to write a code. I went on ChatGPT and I said to ChatGPT, these are the things I'm trying to do. I'm working on this website. This requires a unique code for this. Can you write me a code that I can plug on my website? I need to do that. I'm not a developer. ChatGPT wrote the code for me. I put it on my website. The first time it didn't work, I told ChatGPT, these are the problems I'm having. It corrected itself and gave me another code, and I put on the website and it was working. So there are possibilities out there, guys. So if you're not taking advantage of this, I really don't know what else to tell you.
What I am seeing here is that, and I'm sure you're gonna put that in your repertoire or your curriculum, is that as people begin to level up in their knowledge, at the knowledge level, people may be at average level, significant, right? But where you will now win in your business is in the distribution. Those who are great at distributing. You have the skill now. Distributing is going to be a critical skill. So guys, you've got to come for that, for the webinar. I will be there. I will be there in that webinar. So
We're looking forward to it. It's going to be exciting, guys.
God's will, I thoroughly enjoyed this conversation.
So
So if people want to read more about what you guys are doing, I know you guys are active on LinkedIn. I'm going to put it in the show notes. Where else should people check you guys out?
Okay, so LinkedIn mainly for myself. I do have a YouTube channel as well where I talk
Good.
about different things, and Substack. Can you join my newsletter?
No, they don't know. That's our
That's why
inside
he's
joke.
laughing.
That's our inside joke, right?
The webinar is on the 25th of April, so just shy of 2 weeks, and you
Yeah.
hear a lot more.
Yeah.
But find me on LinkedIn, Uwa Ujam. There aren't many Uwa Ujams in the world, so
Yes.
you'd find me with my AI face.
Yeah.
Very similarly, so mine is Godswill Arum. If you go on LinkedIn, search for Godswill Arum, probably be the top. I don't think there's any other name there, Godswill Arum, but yeah. And then Substack, like Owa said, you get subscriptions from us. Instagram, my Instagram, I'm building that up with AI information as well. So
Yeah.
you can't miss us. And if you go on our website, it's besteverydayai.com.
Yes.
Besteverydayai.com. If you go there, the form to register for the webinar is right there waiting for you. And as soon as you register, within seconds of registering, you get an email with the promise Owa made to you, which is the guide for you to generate business ideas. And we'll have much more surprises for you coming
There's a
at the webinar.
surprise,
There's a
yeah.
surprise coming for you as soon as you register and at the webinar. So take advantage of these guys.
Guys, what do we say to these guys, man? Amazing stuff. So if you're listening to this on Spotify, click on the subscribe button. If you're listening to this on Apple Podcast, click on the plus sign button. If you watch any of the clips on Instagram, click on the favorite so you can get more of our videos. Write a comment. I will share it with this great man. You heard them here first on this podcast because these guys are going to be big. So it's good that we interview them here so that when they become a unicorn, I will say, I interviewed them first.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
Yeah, so guys, don't go yet. We'll stop the recording so that it can upload. I have something to share with you guys quickly before we all go for our various businesses. So I will stop the recording. I think, how did they even do this? Okay, stop the recording. Great. It has stopped recording. Fantastic. Just wait. It is uploading. All right.
Okay.